Here we are. Here we are. What's going on, everybody? How we doing today? Excuse me. Excuse me. How we doing today, everybody? Hope we're doing all right. I'm gonna let you know right now. I'm a little drained, right? It's weird, right? Like I can work out and I'm all good, right? I might be tired, but not like tired. Not like I want to take a nap tired. But when I start doing fucking clerical work, that's when I'm like, dude, this fucking want to take a nap. And like I kind of want to take a nap right now, not gonna lie. But it is Friday. We are streaming, all right? And I just can't get comfortable right now. I just can't get comfortable. You see, I got a haircut today, as you guys can probably tell, right? I got a haircut today, as you guys can probably tell. And fucking I haven't changed my clothing. I haven't taken a shower or anything like that. So like I feel hair in my shirt and it's just like it's frustrating. That and I'm also tired. I'm also fucking tired, you know. So it is what it is. I apologize if I seem a little bit like that, but you know, we're going to power through cuz I'm a big boy. All right, I'm a big boy. We're going to power through. But today is Friday. We have a Friday stream, and you know we're just gonna be chilling. I don't have anything too big planned. You see, I've been running into a problem lately, and I've been telling you guys a little bit about this problem every now and again. And um, I, I just have way too much on my plate. I have way too much going on for me to really like plan the hell out of every move that I'm gonna make in terms of my streaming, specifically my Friday streams. I just like by the time I think, oh, what should I do for this stream? It's like a half hour before I'm supposed to stream. So it's you know I apologize. I hate the feeling of stagnation, right? Even if I'm being a busy idiot, I have to feel like I have to feel like I'm doing something, you know. Like even today, like I said, I'm tired and it's because I was doing clerical work, right? And when I say clerical work, what I mean is I bought a notebook and I was writing down all of the fucking knowledge that I have picked up over more than a decade of being in the MMA world. And I don't mean like, you know, sacred texts of the exploding heart technique. I mean on the business side of it, you know? I mean things that I've learned in terms of like starting new classes, you know, trying to get people to come to your gym, trying to get them to stay at your gym, just a bunch of different stuff. Like I've been racking my brain over the past 24 hours because I have the time to do this right now. And I've just been writing down everything that I can. So like I'm like 80 to 90% of the way done, and that's what I did for the last like 3 to 4 hours. You know, pretty much nonstop. I was sitting in front of not the computer, the TV, listening to some YouTube in the background, and I was just writing down everything that I could, so that when the time comes and I either A, inherit the gym from my coach, or B, I get the fuck out of Dodge and I start my own sort of program, my own thing, I at least can hit the ground running and I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm actually gonna like. You know, I know what I'm doing. I have a direction to go in, and I have something I can reference when I'm like, oh, how should I deal with this? Well, I mean, let's grab the book. Let's grab the book. You know. So that's why I'm like tired. That's why I'm telling you guys I'm tired. Is because like it's funny. You know, people sit here and they're like, oh, you know, it always could be worse. You could be working on an oil rig. You could be working on a this or a that or another thing. And it's like, well, yeah, but it doesn't mean that doesn't mean working in an office job isn't soul sucking. You know, because that's kind of what it is to me. Is like even though it was a good thing, I was doing a good thing, and it was you know it's beneficial to me. There is a certain amount of it that's soul sucking. You know, men weren't meant to be sitting down writing all day. You know, they were meant to be running after mammoths, you know, ambushing antelopes, trying to fight off saber-toothed tigers and shit like that. You know, that's what we were meant to be doing. So it's you know, it's kind of one of those situations. And I don't think it's like a man woman thing either. I'm just saying like men specifically, you know. Um Call your system Scott Stimma. That's a good idea, Vulcan Wharf. I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to do that. Oh man, but yeah, so that's what I do with my day. What did you guys do with your day? I hope you had a good day today. All right. I hope your new year has been going well. I have been completely and totally unable to stop thinking about Maryland, and I think it's one like here's the thing. Whenever I go away somewhere, I love traveling, or I love being somewhere different. I hate traveling, but I love being somewhere different. I still think about Western New York. I've been out there a couple of times. I still think about New Hampshire. That's only a couple hours away, right? DC. I went to DC back in like late 2020. Um, I think about all those places and I'm like, oh man, those places were so nice. I wish I could live there. And it's like, do I though, or do I just like vacation? You know, that's literally my issue, is that I really just like vacation. So I'm sitting here thinking about Maryland because that's where I was last week. That's why I didn't stream last Wednesday, and or last Sunday, I believe. I don't believe I streamed Sunday or Wednesday, but regardless, um, like I'm thinking about it and I'm just like, man, I wish I could go back, And it's a double whammy too, because my shoulders healed up as it's gonna be. And I'm gonna be going back to work very, very soon. Very, very soon. Um but yeah, I'm just doing my thing until then. Just doing my thing. Having a good time. Um what was I gonna say? Um there was a couple of things I wanted to talk your guys' ear off about. There was a couple of things I wanted to yap about, but I'm trying to think if there's any other updates and stuff like that. So the bottom line though is that, like, I've been really busy with a bunch of different things, and because of that, it's been tough for me to plan anything out like too huge. Like this morning, I hit up Greg, I hit up Binks, I hit up a couple more people, and I'm like, yo, do you want to do fucking Lethal Company tonight? Because that's a stream that I've wanted to do. Because I played Lethal Company with some friends, and I was like, this is fun, and I think this would be good for a stream. Why don't I get some fish tank people together for it? And because of that, I was like, hey, fuck it, let's go ahead. And today I was like, you know what? I think if I hit people up early enough, even though it's late notice, I might be able to get some people together. Now, Greg has his boxing match tomorrow. We're gonna be watching that, and yeah, it just didn't work out. I got to kind of consolidate. I got to pull everything. I got to pull everything back together and start putting together some streams, because I do. It's like I said, I don't like the feeling of stagnation. If stagnant is what I have to be right now because there's other shit that I got to do, then that is what it is. But I'd rather not ever be stagnant. I'd rather be moving in a direction, even if it's like fucking, even if it's not as quickly as I'd like to be. Not as quickly as I'd like to be. Um, you're gonna get hair all over your chair. Maybe that's what I want, High Ecuador. Maybe that's what I want. But anyway, um, I gotta check something real quick because I'm pretty sure there was something I wanted to take a look at. This might be a short stream as well, depending on how things go. Okay, that's weird. This might be a short stream as well, right? We either that or it'll just turn into an AOE stream. We're just gonna end up doing an AOE stream. Is probably what it's gonna end up being. Um, Hold on one sec. I'm curious about. I just saw another video that I'm like, oh, we could watch this, but I'm trying. Oh man. Okay. All right. I found another video. I found another video. We're gonna stop everything we're doing right now. All right. We're gonna stop everything we're doing right now. We're gonna take a look at this video that I literally just stumbled upon. Selling to the Negro, 1954. Holy shit! All right, let's go. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. I don't even think I need to preface this with anything. Let's just fucking take a look. All right. It's already great. Here is what sales psychologists have to say about selling to the Negro. Says Italian Walt Disney over here. Holy fuck. This is gonna be amazing. This is gonna be fucking fantastic. Hold on. Alright, we have an impromptu watch along stream, guys. I gotta shut the lights off here. Alright, I gotta shut the lights off. Wow. Sometimes you don't go in with a plan. Sometimes you don't have a fucking plan. You're just like, fuck it, let's go in and see what happens. And then wham, you're just hit. Oh shit, Trying to make sure you see sometimes my stream audio is fucked up, and nobody tells me when my stream audio is fucked up. They tell me it's too low when it's not too low. They tell me it's too high when it's not fucking too high. But when there's a scratch, when there's static, everyone's like, "Nah, sounds perfect." Anywho,
here is what sales psychologists have to say about selling to the Negro.
The secret of selling to the Negro is expressed in one word. That word is recognition. Now, there's nothing unusual about that.
motherfuckers better recognize.
People want to be recognized. They need recognition. That's basic in all of us. But perhaps because he's had so little of it, the Negro needs even more. He needs to feel important and appreciated. This need is a very real and important one. It shows up even in many of the Negro's shopping habits. Anyone who sells...
This dude's like, "Oh, you sure you got the money for this, boy?"
...or wants to sell to the Negro customer should know about some of these habits. 3 habits in particular play a big part in every sales transaction. To begin with, most Negroes buy by brand.
We're
They
watching
ask for
Selling to the
products by
Negro.
name.
Smart
They're
moron.
quick to turn down off-brands. You see, for a long time, the Negro has been sold a lot of shoddy, second-class merchandise. So now he asks for name brands in order to make sure he gets his money's worth. Buying by brand, that's the first important Negro buying habit. Now for the second. The Negro buys good quality merchandise. Symbols of quality and prestige are very important to the Negro customer. This woman, for example, is buying fine crystalware. But she is also buying the admiration and approval of her friends and relatives. It's a well-known fact that many Negro customers are influenced by the opinions of others. What their friends may think of a certain item often decides whether or not the sale is made. So remember,
Nick had to watch
the
this to
Negro
sell
buys
cars. Holy
quality
shit.
merchandise. That's the second important point. And here's the third thing to remember when selling to a Negro customer. When he specifically asks for one thing, don't try to sell him something else. Don't try to switch him at the point of sale. If you do, he'll probably react something like this.
All right, hold on. Let's all before we listen to this, let's all picture what we think this guy is about to say. Let's all just think. Let's rack our imaginations and picture what this guy could possibly say in this situation. All right, I'm gonna count down from 5. All right, in my head, and we're gonna go.
Doesn't he think I've got the money to pay for it?
There's a reason for this reaction.
Really? Why'd they have a white dude? Why'd they have a white dude be the black guy in this scenario? They couldn't even have him voice his own psyche.
You do, he'll probably react something like this.
Doesn't he think I've got the money to pay for it?
There's a reason for this reaction. Again, because he's had experience with cheap merchandise, the Negro resents being offered a substitute. He wants to be sold on quality, not price. The Negro buys by brand, he buys quality,
Every black guy
and
has a
he
white voice
doesn't
in
like
his head.
to
Holy
be
shit.
switched at point of sale. These are the keys to selling the Negro customer. Another point. The Negro family does things together, as a group. The family works as a unit. It lives as a unit, and it buys as a unit. When you sell to one member, you many times sell to all. It's also true that many places of entertainment are still closed to the Negro. So he spends more of his
I wasn't sure what the hell that was.
money for the things that are available to him, often for items that are considered luxuries. Another trait of the Negro market is the fact that it is a pre-sold market. We know that the Negro buys by brand, and he buys the brands that he knows something about. Where does the Negro buyer get this information? We know that Negro customers are turning...
Ebony magazine. Holy fuck, man. There's something about this that just like it feels like it feels like if Nick Mullen or Sam made like an infomercial. But like I'm willing to bet there really was an Ebony magazine back then.
More and more to the publications that are tailored specifically to their needs, that give them the news and the information that they want to read about. Many leading businessmen and companies already know this. That's why so many of them are taking this direct, sure route of reaching the Negro customer. The vice president of advertising of the Gruen Watch Company, for example, says this.
In many important cities throughout the United States, Negroes are important customers of the credit jeweler. Therefore, it seemed that Ebony magazine would be a very important advertising medium for us. We would say it was very well received, and from our viewpoint, a very successful campaign.
From the Remington Rand Company comes this statement.
Our records show that advertising in Ebony has been effective in many ways.
Is this an ad by Ebony magazine that is telling people, hey, advertise in our magazine? Were blacks playing 4D chess with this, where they're like, all right, so check it. We gon' get these crackers. All right. All right. We gonna get these crackers to make a video. Yeah, you with me? You with me? We gonna get these crackers to make a video talking about how to sell to us, how to sell to the black man, and we gonna put Ebony magazine in there, and that's how we gonna get all these luxury brands to sell to Ebony magazine, to give money to Ebony magazine. Is that what's going on right here? Because I'll be honest with you, like, pretty fucking intelligent, pretty smart move, but it's just funny how they're talking about like Ebony magazine and shit like that so much, you know?
As all good advertising should, it has built a terrific amount of goodwill and has brought a volume of sales and sales inquiries.
A representative of the Alaga Syrup Company makes this statement.
Alaga.
Because of Alaga's regard
Corn
for the
syrup.
influence of Ebony in the Negro market, advertising space was doubled. Alaga's long experience in selling to Negroes now takes the most direct route to its best customers, reaching Ebony's 2.5 million audience in every issue.
And here are the statements of still other business leaders.
Yes, many business leaders are discovering the most direct and most efficient way of reaching the new Negro market. Look here at the results of the same advertisement in two different publications, Ebony and another general magazine. You can see that proportionately
magazine
more
X.
men and women read.
Totally not made up. Totally not made up. They're just like magazine X, and then they're like, all right, let's just take the same shit and then just cut it off halfway through.
The ad in Ebony than the one in the other magazine. And they did a better job of remembering it, too. A greater percentage of readers noted, associated, and remembered the ad in Ebony. But now, wait a minute. If the Negro market is so big and easy to reach, why aren't more companies going out after it? Well, often because of the feeling that there's something entirely different, unusual about selling to the Negro. But is it really so different? What do salesmen say? The successful salesmen who do a good job of selling in Negro communities. How do you go about getting the order?
How do I get the order? Well, to tell you the truth, I don't do anything. Anything different, that is. I've been calling on these accounts long enough to know that the Negro just wants to be treated like everybody else. No matter who you're calling on, a little friendliness and courtesy help a lot. But naturally, anybody resents being patronized or talked down to. So I usually call a man Mr. Brown, Mr. Smith, or Mr. whatever his name is, until he tells me to call him by his first name. And of course, I always stick to business. I stay away from talk about race or religion or politics. That goes for talk about Negro celebrities, too. You know, this business about what good prize fighters and singers the Negroes are. Who cares?
Don't be that white liberal, you know. Don't be that white liberal. Oh, dude, Muhammad Ali, is well, at this time it'd probably be like actually no, Marciano was around this time. So I don't know, just don't sit here and be like, dude, you know this other black guy? Dude, he's so cool. That's fucking it's just funny that this needs to be said. And I don't think it needs to be said or anything like that. I think people probably understood that whole thing. Cause like, you're gonna tell me this dude walks into the black grocery store and he has to try and sell Quaker Oats to black people? No, they're like, oh yeah, we need to eat too. You're the Quaker Oats guy? Go ahead on in. Fucking throw the oats up. They're gonna be gone soon. Fucking, we gotta eat too. You know, we like our oatmeal too. So, yeah, see you this time next week. We're probably gonna need you to refill the shit again. All right, peace out. It's just like, holy shit.
When a guy's in business, no matter what.
Hi, Ecuador. Don't call them the N-word to their face. They do not enjoy that, and it will not make the sale. Exactly.
What color his skin is. He's interested in making a living, in making money. That's uppermost in his mind.
Do you people like crackers? Do you people like Quaker Oats? Oh, hey, would you look at this? One of you guys is on this box. Is that your pancake brand? Is that you people's pancake brand? It's like, holy fuck. I made sure to bring the black flour, the black people flour today. You know, because I know you people. Sure love your flour.
I guess maybe what I'm saying is that I try to help any way I can. Sometimes with displays or ad materials, or an idea once in a while. The important thing is that if it helps push sales for the dealer, it helps push them for me, too.
Handle the Negro account just like any of your others. Don't patronize. Stick to business. Get interested in the account. Pitch in and help any way you can. Sounds like pretty good sales advice. That's the secret of selling the Negro.
Wait, what? Huh? What was that last part there?
Sales advice. That's the secret of selling the Negro.
That's yeah. That's quite the way to end that video. Holy shit. Holy fuck, man. That is bonkers, dude. Holy fuck. Holy shit, dude. I'm nice to the black man because it makes me money. I'm nice to the black man because their money is green. It's funny too because like I'm when you look at the world today, right? See all the issues in the world today. You see race relations at its worst since probably like the 50s or 60s. You know, maybe the 70s, I don't know. If not, then at least the 90s, back when the LA race riots were going on. You know, and I actually think it's been getting a little bit better as time has gone on, but it really hit a crescendo between like 2014 and 21 or something like that. But like regardless, it's you see race relations as bad as they are, and you see situations where you know, like racial attacks are on the rise, and it's almost like entirely black on white too. You know, like it's a known fact that more interracial crime is committed by blacks to whites than any like any other metric, right? And I'm not saying that as some like, oh, hey, what, Paul, like that's not even what I'm trying to do. Like it's just a fact. It just is what it is, right? Um, it's getting worse. It's been bad for a long time. It's getting worse. I think race relations are improving a little bit, but that doesn't mean that the crime statistics are improving. When I say race relations are improving, what I mean is you're starting to see less and less people like clamoring for the replacement of like white, specifically redhead, funny enough, characters in movies and all this other stuff, right? Even then, I guess I don't really know what I'm talking about. I guess I don't really know what I'm talking about. I just feel that there's a little bit less tension than there used to be. Whether that is reflected in certain statistics and things like that, I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But like, regardless, the point that I'm trying to make is we look at the way the world is today. Everyone is pretty damn tense when it comes to race relations, and yet, how often do you walk out and get called cracker? You know, how often do you walk out and you get like attacked for the color of your skin? It may have happened before. It's happened to me, you know. It's happened to me. It's happened to me a few times, you know. But like fucking it's not something that happens all day every day because people are just trying to get through the day. That's all they're trying to do. That's all they want. They just want to get through the day. That's it. You know? Um so like when it comes down to like shit like that, shit like selling to the Negro a 1954 infomercial, I don't know if it's actually needed. I feel like that's quite literally probably their corporate training video type shit, you know? Um, like that was probably some marketing agency or some sales agency. Um, that was probably their version of our modern day. Don't assume all black people play basketball. Don't assume people's genders kind of video. You know, I don't think anyone actually needed that sort of thing. And anyone who does need it, well, they don't really need it because they're not going to take sales jobs where they have to sell to black people. They're just going to avoid that. So it's just funny to think the kind of people who were probably watching that back then. And it's funny to think how it was probably like almost completely and totally pointless because uh, you like contrary to what we're taught about history, people were still people back then, and people largely just want to be able to get through their day so they can go home and like sit on the couch and do whatever the hell they do in their spare time, you know? So it's like it it's just strange, you know? It's just fucking weird. It's just mad weird, you know? Um There was another video that I figured we could watch as well, but first I want to check my watch later because I feel like there was a video that I was supposed to. Um, mm, mm, mm. All right, you know what? You know what? Fuck it.
Mr. President.
We're gonna watch this, all right? So I recently stumbled upon a Richard Nixon YouTube channel. It's the Nixon Foundation, and this is like I never understood just how great of a president and how great of an orator Richard Nixon is. He's the kind of guy who, when he speaks, he's very reserved. He's very thoughtful. He's there isn't a whole lot of pomp and flair or anything like that when he speaks, but he just speaks with a conviction and a thoughtfulness that is fascinating, you know. And I want to watch this. This is a 7-minute video, and it's asking the question, or this dude right here, I don't know who he is, but he's asking the question, can the Russians be trusted? And I want to talk a little bit about this, right? I'm actually planning on doing a podcast episode on this because I started a podcast for my patrons. It's mostly going to be on Patreon, though I will probably get a couple of episodes on YouTube for the members. The reason why is because I'm going to be talking in a way that I want to be very careful not to put on YouTube, you know. I said a naughty word on Instagram Live the other day, and the algorithm picked it up and it deleted the Instagram Live on me. It didn't even take them 24 hours. And I didn't post the Instagram live after. The Instagram live completed, and then like 12 hours later, I got a notification from Instagram saying, we took it down because you said a naughty word, you know? Because of that, it's like, I want to be real careful because I'm, YouTube. YouTube is something that I do it for fun, but it is a way that I can make a little bit of money having fun. So there's that. But did you hear what Nixon said about Indians? I heard what Nixon said about a lot of people, a lot of people. But yeah, regardless, right? I'm just gonna stop yapping until after this, and we're gonna listen to it.
President, can we trust the Russians?
Well, I recall talking to Manuel Brosio, the former Secretary General of NATO, a great Italian diplomat who served 6 years in Moscow before he came to the United States. And he told me in the late 60s, before I became president, very, very vigorously, when many Europeans were clamoring for détente, he said, I know the Russians. They are liars. They are great actors. They are cheaters. And they lie and they act because they consider it's their duty to do so. He says, you cannot trust them. Now, having said that, however, he did not go on to say that you should not deal with them. And my answer to this whole proposal or question as to whether or not the Russians can be trusted is very simply only if we make agreements which are in their interest to keep, self-enforcing agreements, and only if everything we do with them positively is linked to something else which will cost them if they break the agreement. But you can't trust them on the basis that, well, we're sincere and they're sincere. That is totally irrelevant where the Russians are concerned.
Why do they lie and cheat? Why are they insincere?
The reason is that their goal is very different from ours. To simplify it, our goal is peace, is an end in itself, and their goal is victory. And whether it's peace or war, it's a means to the end of victory, the Soviet or Russian or communist domination of the world. And under Marxist-Leninist teachings, you use any means to achieve that great goal. And if it requires that you lie and you cheat, you lie and you cheat. Now, under the circumstances, we simply do not follow that particular type of, quote, morality, unquote. And under the circumstances, however, in dealing with them, it doesn't mean that we have to lie and cheat, but we must be aware of the fact that they will when they can get away with it. But on the other hand, you can deal with them and they will keep a deal if you make it on the basis that will serve their interests and ours.
Are they sincere as people, as Andropov sits in the Kremlin? Does he look at a question and say, no, I've got to lie and cheat in order to achieve our good Leninist ends here? Or do they sincerely believe that what they're doing is right? Do they have a different definition of morality?
I do not think that morality is really relevant as far as they're concerned. They are thinking in terms of the total communist world, a communist society for everybody, equality and everything else that communism in its ideal state is supposed to produce. And they believe, therefore, that anything they do to achieve that is therefore justifiable. I recall, for example, a conversation with regard to the whole idea of whether or not they were sincere that I had with Ambassador Bolin, our former ambassador to Russia, and a great Russian expert. And he was concerned, this was in the early 60s, after he had become ambassador to Paris, by statements out of Washington in the early 60s, that some Washington people in the government were convinced that Khrushchev was sincere in his desire for peace. And he said, that is so stupid, and it is so wrong. He said, he is a communist. He can no more be sincere than this table, there was a coffee table between us, can be sincere. He is a materialist. And he will therefore be for whatever is necessary to achieve his end. Sincerity has nothing to do with it.
What do you think about the fairly widespread theory
I don't want
one
to
of
do
the
too much
reasons
interrupting.
for the Cold War is because we acted in the post-Second World War period when we had the power of the atomic bomb uniquely ourselves, that we acted suspiciously and vindictively towards the Russians and towards the Soviets, and that turned them into what they became. That in effect we created the Cold.
You know, I'll go ahead and I'll pause this, right, because you know, this is kind of veering off from the main point of what I wanted to say. First things first, I'll say, High Ecuador says our goal is peace. Says the guy who killed thousands of U.S. citizens for no reason in a pointless war. Okay, guy. Vietnam was not pointless, and I will defend the reasoning behind Vietnam, at least the official reasoning behind Vietnam. Communism is a scourge. It is not something that should exist in the world. Unfortunately, it's you know, as they say in V for Vendetta, you can't kill an idea. The idea has been spread. You're never going to be able to kill the idea, but it's, as an idea, something that should not have any institutional power. And because of that, invading Vietnam to save South Vietnam from communism was a noble task. It was a noble goal. And stopping the spread of communism was a noble goal. And the domino theory was correct. If you look at Asia, you see China falls to communism. Then some other Asian countries end up falling to communism as well. Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia. I forget if Mongolia also fell to communism. I forget if that is the case. But where one country falls to communism, a lot of other countries tend to fall to communism as well. And because of that, millions die. And because of that, I don't think Vietnam was a bad idea. If I'm just being frank with you, I'm not some war hawk kind of guy. That's not my thing, obviously. But on paper, the stated goal of Vietnam, it was a good idea. Okay. Now, Nixon was criticized because he started invading Laos and or Cambodia. It may have been one of them. It may have been both of them. But the reason why he had to do that is because the Ho Chi Minh Trail ran through those countries. And those countries were not doing anything to try and stop it. Or if they were doing something to try and stop it, it simply was not enough. And what are we supposed to do? Sit here and allow these trails to continue, these cadres to continue harassing our guys and also our allies, simply because they're in another nation? No, it's that nation's job to take care of it. And if they can't take care of it, well, then they better get out of the way while we take care of it, you know? We've been brainwashed by hippie propaganda to believe that, one, the Vietnam War was not popular. It was popular. And I don't believe the story that it became unpopular at one point or another. I think what probably happened is, again, a rewriting of history, as is known to occur a lot of the time, where you had million-man marches and things like that in D.C., you know, and a bunch of other things, you know, Kent State, which was actually a riot. It was a riot, which is why the National Guard got called in and fired on the crowd, is because the crowd was attacking armed National Guardsmen, thinking that was a good idea, thinking that was going to turn out well, right? The bottom line is, I think Vietnam was a good thing, or at the very least, it had a certain benevolence in mind, because stopping the spread of communism was a very important piece of it, you know? And people say we lost. I mean, that depends on what you consider lost to be. For every one of them we killed, for every one of us that got killed, we killed tens, maybe even hundreds of them. Right? It was like the casualty numbers were absolutely fucking insane. And it's a situation much like in Afghanistan, where, okay, yeah, depending on what your definition of loss is, we lost. But it's kind of like Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva, where and even then, this is a bad. It would be bad to even compare it to that, because at the very least, Anderson Silva came back and beat Chael Sonnen at the end. The Taliban never beat us. Fucking the Viet Cong never beat us. We literally got bored and we left, and they beat the guys that we left behind, the guys that we were propping up. So it's it's a complicated topic that a lot of people don't get into because, for one thing, it's like, does it really matter that much in the daily lives of someone who was born in the 90s or the 2000s? No, of course not, right? It just kind of is what it is. But then in addition to that, the hippie propaganda, the brain excuse me, the brainwashing by the establishment, the baby boomer establishment, they convinced you that if you want to be cool, you have to think that Nixon was like the worst president ever, and that Vietnam was bad, and that there was no point, there was no reason for it, and all these other things. When the fact of the matter is, Nixon was actually a really good president. He normalized relations with China, which divided China and Russia in the height. Well, I don't know. I don't necessarily think it was the height of the Cold War, but it was in the middle of the Cold War, right? It literally divided communist Asia and communist Asia and communist Eurasia, right? And then there were a few other things that he was able to do in his time, you know. But then in addition to that, people point to like Watergate, and it's like, what is Watergate? Well, some guys broke into the Watergate hotel trying to get some information. Meanwhile, fast forward to 2024, and it turns out mad politicians are fucking kids. Yeah. Nixon's the worst politician. Nixon's the worst politician. Some guys broke into a hotel, and he might have known about it, maybe, possibly, potentially. He might have maybe known about it, maybe. But he's so much worse than the guys that fuck kids. He's so much worse than the guys who fuck kids. It's dude, I can't believe we ever let a scumbag like Nixon into office. You know that? I can't believe we ever let him within 100 miles of the Oval Office. I can't believe it. It's like, holy fucking shit, dude. It is. There is no there is no president that is slandered more than Nixon besides maybe Trump. And you know what? You can see similarities between Nixon and Trump. You can see the similarities between them. And if you can see the similarities between someone like Nixon and Trump, it should really get you to think about who Nixon was. Because me personally, I had no idea he was this eloquent. I had no fucking clue he was this eloquent. He was this well thought out. He was that good at foreign policy. I had no idea. No clue. I just thought he was old Dick Nixon, the weirdo with the deep voice. That's all I thought. But no, he's actually a really intelligent guy. The likes of which we probably haven't even seen from another president since. You think fucking Bill Clinton is that eloquent? I can't do a Bill Clinton. I can't do a Bill Clinton. I should keep Taylor on speed dial and just call him up, be like, yo, dude, could you do Bill Clinton for me real quick? just hold him up to the microphone as he does Bill Clinton. No, like, and I'm not even saying any of these guys are dumb necessarily, right? But like, I don't think they are on the same level as orators as a Richard Nixon or anything like that. It's crazy. Even the first televised, but before I get into what this video is actually supposed to represent, right? I've been yapping about something, that's tangential. But yeah. Anyway, like, oh fuck, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. So the first ever presidential debate that was televised took place between John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon, because Kennedy, when he ran against Richard Nixon. And Richard Nixon, right, to the people who listened on the radio, they were like, Richard Nixon blew Kennedy out of the fucking water. But the people who watched on TV, they were like, oh no, Kennedy won. And the reason why they said that is because Kennedy, younger, a little bit better looking, a little bit more spry, right? In addition to that, I think there was also a piece where Nixon was not used to the idea of TV, so like he showed up like unshaven, you know, like not worried about how people would perceive him physically and things like that. Um, like that's it's I don't we there's probably not a better orator in our time when it comes to present. I mean, our time, as if I was around in the 70s, but from like the 70s to now, there probably has not been a better orator in terms of like or if not, if orator is the wrong term, just public speaker, I guess, even though it's kind of the same thing, but I feel like you probably understand what I'm saying. There's probably not been a better one of those since Nixon, if we're just being honest here. You know, seeing versus hearing. Yes, exactly, you know. um but yeah, you guys don't think Trump is deep state and in on half the crap that the other side is doing. He's just as bad as the other guys. I don't think about it, you know. I really don't think about it. At the end of the day, there's nothing I can do about it, you know. This is and you see, I'm already fucking, yeah, you know, fucking I'll say it. All talking about politics gets you is alienation. That's it. You know, like you can't change anything. All you can do is piss people off around you, and because of that, it's like whatever. You know, like there's this one chick. She used to go to my gym. Like beautiful, beautiful girl. Like insanely pretty. She's this North African chick. So you know she's light skinned. Not black, just you know, light skin. She's like of Arabic extraction, Mediterranean extraction, whatever you want to call that. I'd say Mediterranean extraction actually, but she's not like Italian or Greek. She's, you know, she's from one of those like North African countries, like Carthaginian. Actually, that's probably a good way to explain her. She's got like a Carthaginian phenotype, but absolutely stunning girl. And she's got like a pleasant enough personality. She's a pretty pleasant girl to be around. When she comes into the gym, I'm happy to see her. I used to follow her on Instagram, right? Because, you know, gym person, gym buddy, all right, cool. On 9/11 a couple of years ago, I see that she posted a story. I'm like, oh, I wonder what she posted. I tap on it, and it's from some like Lebanese fucking shit that's talking about like, oh, you know, people talk about 9/11 as if that doesn't happen all the time in Syria. Like some shit where it's like, oh, on 9/11 you're going to talk shit about 9/11. Okay, cool. So I stopped following her. And now I hope she doesn't come back to the gym, if I'm just being honest with you. And if she does, then all right, that's fine. I'll treat her with respect. I'm not going to be rude to her. I'm not going to do anything or say anything that is like, you know, beyond the pale or anything like that. But if she asks me, I'm going to be honest with her. I'm going to be like, yeah, I saw what you posted about 9/11 on 9/11. I know somebody whose dad died in 9/11. It's a family member of mine, not blood related. You know, she married into the family, but that's still family, you know. And I know her mom, I know her sisters and shit like that. We spend holidays with them a lot of the time. So it's like I couldn't see you posting that and still be like, you know, she's got her opinion. She's just got her opinion. It's just her opinion. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. No, I don't want to see that shit. So fuck off. like get out of here. Fuck off and get out of here, you know? And it's such a stupid like boomer conservative I'm not a snowflake kind of belief, is that like you have to put up with everybody's opinions, and if you don't, then you're like a blue-pilled cuck. You're just a special snowflake. What, you can't take opinions? They're just words, bro. And it's like, yeah, sure, all right. I'm a blue-pilled cuck. Sure, all right, whatever you say. Get the fuck out of my face. Get the fuck out of my face. Leave me alone. Don't bother me with your stupid shit. And more importantly, don't come to me for a favor. You've burned that bridge. Even if I'm going to be kind to you, even if I'm going to be polite and courteous, don't come to me when you're short $5 and you really need some groceries and you're starving to death. Don't come to me when your car broke down and you need a ride somewhere. Don't fucking do that, because you alienated me with your dumbass opinions, you know? So it's like, fuck, man, you know? People just cannot help themselves, you know? And it just kind of is what it is. It's like, sure, maybe Trump, you know, to bring this back around to what user one was talking about, right? Maybe Trump is deep state. Maybe. But I can't fix that. So if he's deep state, then all right, good for him. I'm going to continue to be Scott Sullivan, and I'm going to just do my thing and fuck it. You know, I'm going to try and make as much money as I can. Hell, not only that, I'm going to try and become as independent of the system as I possibly can be, so that I don't have to worry about whether or not Trump is deep state. So that even if Trump is deep state, the only thing that I have to worry about is if they decide to fucking implement martial law. I don't have to worry about as much like stupid bullshit, you know? That's what I'm gonna do. So, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is, you know? But anyway, so this video, right? Now that I've talked so much, you probably forget about what he was talking about, right? This highlights talking about the Russians and whether or not we can trust them. This highlights what I'm talking about between the mind states of, or with the mind states of the West and the East. Excuse me. The East is all about winning at any cost. And this is not just a communist ideal. This is like an Eastern ideal in and of itself. Not all Eastern countries are like this. You know, Japan is, Japan is not like this as much. You know, certain Southeast Asian countries and stuff like that. But there's countries over there that are like 1,000,000% like this. They are extremely, extremely like this. Winning is all that matters. And that's because their system of morality is honor comes from strength, right? So your honor does not come from any sort of virtue or anything like that. It comes from your ability to impose your will on your environment as well as other people. And that is why victory is so important to them. Now, in the West, where we had a form of Christianity that, in my opinion, is the correct form of Christianity, Catholicism, although, you know, Protestantism is you know, you can talk all about that, including with America, which was founded by Protestants and all that other stuff. But like the biggest cultural force in the West was the Catholic Church, and it still, to a certain degree, is the Catholic Church in a certain sense. But you know, that's another conversation to be had. And because Christianity and the way Jesus instructed Christians to be was to have integrity, was to have a moral backbone, a spiritual backbone before they even worry about anything physical. That is why we are the way that we are in terms of the way we view things. You know, we have strength because we have honor. The Russians, they have honor because they have strength. And because of this, you see two different philosophies play out, where the Russians are very much take whatever they can get, however they can get it sort of mindset. And over here in America and other parts of the West, it's very much work hard for what you need to get, and whatever it is that you have to do, you better make sure it's above board, you know? So it was just something a little bit interesting. Like I said, I want to do a podcast episode on this concept because this is something that I came to a conclusion about a while ago. You know, I came to this conclusion a long time, not even a while ago. Geez, a while ago. Recently, excuse me. I thought about it for a while, is what I meant to say, and it's something that, as time has gone on, I've come to that conclusion. If it makes sense, what I'm trying to say, you know. God lost me when He created Satan. Wow, that's deep, user one. Are you a philosopher? Are you a philosopher? I saw my Korean ortho bro talk about how Pyongyang used to be called the Jerusalem of Asia because all the Presbyterian churches set up there. Then after communism, hundreds of churches were destroyed. Oh yeah. Not just the churches, but think about what happened to the people inside of those churches. It's awful. It's really fucking awful, you know? Anyway, I have one more video we're gonna take a look at, and then we'll play a little bit of AOE. So this is apparently Army Basic Training 1997 versus 2001, and a Marine reacts to it. So I don't know what the deal is gonna be. We'll probably skip through the Marine reacting and stuff like that. I'm just curious to see how this is. I'm curious to see how this is.
Kids, who's gonna want mommy?
National origin, gender, sexual orientation, and all other protected categories.
United States Army boots go.
Snack. In the win philosophy.
How it changed. Let's go.
I use the skin to win philosophy.
The recruits grab the snack that's waiting for them inside, consisting of a fruit cup, sunflower seeds, a granola bar, and a juice box.
Now those cattle cars are one car.
Yeah. I didn't realize this dude was gonna be in the corner. This is already kind of a fucking bust. You know what? I'm the Marine now. I'm the Marine now. Semper Fi. Semper Fi. This guy right here, stolen valor. Stolen valor. I'm the Marine.
Run! Run! At no time will you walk! You will run! Everyone you freaking go! Go! Run! Run!
So, I mean, there's still a lot of yelling. There's still a lot of yelling. There's still a lot of, like, hey, get there now, you know?
Hey! No? Where's your gear, bro?
So, I have a feeling I know what happened here, because my buddy told me that, part of basic was they have to endure CS gas. I think it was CS gas, but these guys were probably in the gas chamber and they had to fucking remove their gas masks, you know? So now they're like, oh fuck.
Is your gear back in the chamber?
Oh,
Because you're
man.
going back in to get it if it is.
To a drill sergeant, the effects of the gas begin to wear off after a
Now clearly, that train.
Greeting it done with an early attack.
Oh, alright.
Now
You know what? Actually, fuck it. I don't feel like listening to Boomer Marine guy anymore. Fucking let's see if we can find some army. I'm just curious, right? But yeah, part of the reason I wanted to look at that, right, is because as soon as I saw it, I thought of something that it's something I've been thinking about a lot. And when it comes down to it, China is a paper dragon. And what you tend to see are propaganda videos that are released to the internet where like they have some like elementary school kids playing laser tag with real guns. You know, there's a laser on the gun. And people are like, dude, this is how China's training. Dude, we're fucked, dude. Oh, dude, we're fucked, bro. Oh man, dude, our soldiers can't even decide what gender they are. Oh, dude. And it's like, yeah, China, it doesn't matter how many people China has. It doesn't matter how many genders our soldiers think they have. Our army would crush China like it was nothing. The only hope China has is two things. One, drones, and two, nuclear weapons, which we have nuclear weapons too. So good luck on that. And then drones are not exactly what you think they are yet. They aren't as great as you think they are yet, you know? And it's just funny to see the way people, like, they get nervous about China. The average soldier in China doesn't even have body armor, for one thing. And then on top of that, a lot of their training just consists with like indoctrination. It's like singing patriotic songs and other shit like that, you know? The amount of money spent on the average US soldier dwarfs that of China. And then in addition to that, we are a more active military force. You know, our soldiers, our if not our current soldiers, then our officer corps still remembers what it was like to have to invade Iraq and Afghanistan in the early 2000s, you know. So it's just a situation where it's like Yeah, sure. Is it kind of cringe when you see cherry picked shit of like some guy talking about their gender or something like that when they're in basic? Yeah, it's pretty cringe. But overall, like, I think it's just boomer pearl clutching, where it's like some boomer Marine fuckhead is like, well, back when I was in the Marines, back when I was in the Corps, we had to do this, and now they don't. So that means my Marine class was better. My Marine class at Quantico was better, you know? I actually had to drive. I didn't drive through, but I drove by Quantico on my way to Fredericksburg when I visited them. You know, it's just stupid. You know, have you seen them do encourage? Have you seen them encourage their kids to dress up as suicide bombers with satchel charges? Yeah, that's fucking crazy. And I mean, the thing is, like, with a country that big, with a country with that many people, you're gonna find dudes that are like, yeah, fuck it, you know, my kid will be a suicide bomber. But then in addition to that, excuse me, in addition to that, it's like I said, it's all for show. And that's the thing about propaganda today, is propaganda is that much harder to figure out a lot of the time, because you have videos that just get thrown out onto the internet. And it's not like you're seeing most of these videos on ChinaIsGreat.org, ChinesePropaganda.net. You're seeing them like come up randomly on TikTok or something like that. Or you're seeing some idiot ex-Marine who is trying to make a name for himself on the internet, so he reacts to these things and sits there like, oh, our current Marines can't even decide their gender. That but you see how China's training. Oh, we're fucked in a war. We're fucked in a war. I tell you what. Back in 1994, when I joined the Marines, we didn't have all that bullshit. We just had straight up killing. We were killers of men. You know. It's annoying to hear that kind of thing, knowing that if China was stupid enough to invade even Taiwan, they would get fucked up, you know? Assuming we actually stuck up for Taiwan. They might be able to get away with invading Taiwan, but if we actually sent troops over there, it'd be all over. It'd be fucking all over. They would have absolutely positively nothing they could do. Just nothing at all, you know? Oh, I'm curious about this. Oh, wow. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. We got the Indian Defense Force, I guess, with the sack tap. Dude, he grabbed a fucking handful. Holy shit. Oh. This is fucking Nickelback. Yeah, I gotta click off of that anyway because I'm gonna get fucking copyright claimed. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Hold on. I'm just curious about like all this shit. British Army World War II unarmed combat. All right, let's check this one out.
Here are the vulnerable points. First, the fork. Next, the chin. And now the arms. The forearm, the upper part of the arm, then the back of the neck, the kidneys, base of the spine. Now comes the side of the neck and across the Adam's apple. And lastly, to round matters off, come the shin and instep.
Stomping on someone's foot like that has never actually been any good, you know? Maybe depending on, like, if you got them with like the foot of like a stool or something like that, you know? Maybe, but like that's one of those things. It's like that doesn't work. No, when you stomp on someone's foot when they're wearing shoes, they're not gonna be like, oh, you know, that's not how that works. It's weird seeing that shit. I don't know how that survived for so long.
And now we'll see how all these are attacked. The chin jab. Effective, isn't it? A feint to the fork, out comes the chin. Then an upward thrust with the heel of the hand with
He
all your
called
weight
it the
behind
fork.
it, and down he goes like a plummet. And now for blows with the edge of your hand.
Yeah, but he's still alive. That's not going to work.
Let's study them.
Holy shit. That is
The
not
belt
going to
has
work.
been gripped. A blow with the edge of the hand on the forearm,
Hiya, I say.
or the upper arm.
How
or
about
the
this
Arab
one,
jab.
boy?
He'll let go quickly enough and won't want to argue. When
No.
delivering these blows, the hand is held with fingers extended and thumb likewise. The blow is delivered with the edge of the hand.
You see, like, this is a huge issue. This is a huge issue with any kind of self-defense, anything that you see. They always train for the least likely situations that occur. Now, am I saying that no one dressed in a German military uniform has ever grabbed a guy in a British military uniform right there? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm sure it's happened. Stranger things have happened. But is it happening all the time as to where you really need like a pre-programmed idea of what to do when it happens? No. No, it does not happen even close to that much. So there's no point in trying to train for this inevitability, especially when you consider the fact that him using his arm to grab there means he doesn't have an arm to protect that side of his head with. So you can just start punching him as hard as you can. And even if someone was to grab there, they're not just going to grab there and hold on waiting for you to make a move. It's not turn-based combat here. They're going to grab on and they're going to try their best to do something, anything, you know? I'm trying to think if I've ever seen something like this before. And I've seen two scenarios where I've witnessed two scenarios where somebody grabbed onto somebody else like that or similar to this in the middle of a fight. One of them was I saw a guy grab a dude by the shirt and start throwing punches. And the punches weren't the absolute strongest you've ever seen. He was throwing a bunch, he was trying to throw power into it. But what was more important is that he was being aggressive and he was throwing in volume. It was, oh, whoops. Almost fucked up my thing. Let's just make sure here. Let's just make sure here. Testing. We're good? Yeah, we're good. Anyway, like that was one of them. The other one was it was a house party that I was at, and this one dude threw a punch at another guy. It was a sucker punch, but it didn't do anything to the dude. Once he snapped his head back into place, he grabbed the dude by the shirt and started running towards the wall. And once he pinned the guy up to the wall, he started throwing punches at the dude. Those are the only two situations that I've seen in 30 years of life being involved in all different kinds of weird confrontations and MMA fights and street stuff, house party, wherever, right? I've only ever seen it twice. And I'd be willing to bet that a lot of other people have probably seen it about that often too, if not even less. So it's just like, what's the point of this? Who is this for? Really what it is at the end of the day is just a way for people to feel cool. It's a way for people to feel like they know something and they're teaching something, much in the same way that I might freeze in a position so that I can show you all the options you have. That's what these guys are trying to do right here. Except when I freeze in a position, if I am trying to pass your guard in a jiu-jitsu match, or it wouldn't be a match if I'm just showing technique. I break the guard open, I go into a knee slice, and then I stop there. And I say, okay, from this knee slice, you have a couple of different options. You can go here, or there, or there, or there. That's at least realistic enough insofar as, like, that is a common place you end up in a jiu-jitsu match. This is so uncommon, there's no reason to train it. And then you also add in the fact that he's trying to train this.
In cross-cut blows, the palm must be kept downwards.
No one's gonna be like, ugh.
So do the various breaks from wrist holds. And this is it. The wrist is caught firmly with one hand. The hand is turned against the assailant's thumb, and there's just no option at all. If caught with both hands, thumbs on top, the answer's just as easy. The free hand is brought over, seizing the fist and jerking it suddenly upwards, and once more,
Oh, yeah,
power
jerk
is brought to bear against the weakest point, the thumb. When the grip is reversed, the hand is seized from underneath and snapped straight downwards. Here now is the wrist and elbow hold.
Not gonna happen.
In this one,
See, that's some Aikido tier shit where somebody runs towards you with an outstretched hand like they're trying to
Grasping the
handshake
elbow
you.
with the left
You know?
hand, it's slightly raised. Then back with the right foot and down with the elbow. Now, cut
He just,
on the upper arm.
oh,
with the edge of the hand
like a
raised with
tree.
left
Holy fuck, man.
Follow this by a violent wrench, and the business end of the boot ends the argument. Next, if clothing is seized above waist, the same idea on broader lines. And this is how it's done.
Why wouldn't he
Right
let
hand
go
wrist,
way before
left
that?
to elbow. This time, a bit more twist to the elbow, and a wider stride to the rear. He's put out with a smash to the face with the knee. And the boot can be used in case of accidents.
And the boot can be
Bear hug
used
from the
in
front,
case
arm
of
and
accidents.
pinion is
What
easily
accident?
broken. And this is the answer to that one. To ease the hold, a reach to the fork is made with the right hand, enabling the left arm to be brought over the opponent's right, causing a lock. Then, a smash with the knee, followed up with a powerful blow on the back of the neck, and here again the boot makes certain the cure is complete.
Like, am I gonna say like that absolutely positively would not work? I mean, I've seen things that are similar to this work. Yeah, grabbing some dude's nuts might help. You know, it might do the job, but it's just like usually when someone's nuts are grabbed, they don't leave their arms around you like that. It's gonna be, oh fuck, he's grabbing my nuts. You're gonna take your arms out from around and you're immediately gonna be checking on your nutsack, you know? Either that or you're gonna transition in some way, shape, or form. It's just unrealistic, you know?
The release from the bear hug from behind.
And then another piece about this too, right, is like people are tough, especially when it's in a life or death situation. You'd be surprised. You'll hit someone as hard as you can. You'll be thinking to yourself as you're about to hit them, oh yeah, nobody could survive this. This is as hard as I can throw. Nobody's going to be able to survive this punch. And then a dude gets hit, you just see his head snap, and then he's back, and then he's immediately trying to hurt you, right? So that's another piece of these, and that's another piece of this like self-defense bullshit a lot of the time too, is that
And the cure is complete.
right? So is he dead, or like what's going on here? Why is that the finishing move? The finishing move should be to draw your knife and kill the guy. Like actually make sure the guy's dead, or your gun, or pick up a stick or a rock and finish the job. You know, people don't. This isn't a 1980s action movie. People don't die because you tapped them on the back of the head. You know, this dude would not be hunched over like that. He'd be fighting because he wants to live.
The release from the bear hug from behind. A nice work if you know how. Well, here's how. First, a vicious bash with a tin hat, then grab at the fork. Bring the right arm across, seize the wrist.
You know, why would this dude bear hug you from behind? I would assume he has a knife or a sidearm or something like that. Why would he bear hug you from behind?
Step away and kick him in the face.
Again.
The arms are free, try the hat trick again. Then whipping it off, bring it down on the fingers. He'll let go soon enough. Then a chin jab,
Really?
not forgetting the knee, just to put him to sleep. Another method. The little finger can be seized and bent savagely backward.
You know,
Then
I'm curious here. I'm curious. My Zadzu, I would assume, from Poland, was 5 years old when Germans evacuated Polish people in World War II. He was a saint, and he was so strong. And all right, fuck off. I love the fact that one of the first moves it shows is a knee to the jewels. Yeah, that's not bad. You know. This is William Ewart Fairbairn. teaching gutter fighting, World War II. Is this where the Fairbairn Sykes thing gets its name from? Because if so, I don't know if I really believe in that shit then. You know, I guess I guess I'm gonna have to check it out, you know? I guess, I don't know. But, like, it's just like, this will not work, you know? It's just, back when men didn't need to be taught to fight. Well, if they didn't need to be taught to fight, why the hell did they make this in the first place? These lads had been fighting since childhood, from the schoolyard to the construction site to the bar. Remember, British people invented going to a soccer match for the sole purpose of starting a fight. And that's something you see from a lot of people. That's something I've been getting a lot of on my channel lately, because I did that video about the knife fight between the Ukrainian and the Russian. I actually just saw a comment recently, literally an hour ago. This guy left a comment an hour ago. I'm gonna read it. This is a comment from my most recent video. I was a fairly successful fighter / boxer and karateka with 18 years in the infantry, serving all over the world. I worked even longer as a doorman, and eventually I served in law enforcement for a handful of years. Fucking none of that happened. Maybe he was in the military. Maybe he was in the military. I guarantee you he didn't see combat. And it probably wasn't for 18 years. Right? Maybe he was in the military. I don't know.Maybe. Right? Fucking fairly successful fighter / boxer. Well, which one is it? You know, he's doing what Bert did for day 1 of season 3. He's trying to front load his credentials. He's trying to front load everything about himself so that he can feel like he's convincing you that he's some kind of dude that he's not. You know, and that's what this dude is doing right here, and that's what a lot of people do on the internet as well as in real life. But you see it less in real life now. I feel like you probably used to see it more back in the day, I would assume, right? But and then in addition to that, he said, I worked even longer as a doorman. Eventually, I served in law enforcement for a handful of years. Where is this guy getting all of that time? Fucking, so this guy is trying to say that he spent 18 years in the military, in the infantry specifically. So this dude, let's say he signed up when he was 18. That's 28. 10 years, right? Plus another 8, that's 36. So he served in the infantry until he was age 36. That's pretty weird. People usually don't do infantry for 18 years. Usually they do maybe a tour or two in infantry, and then, you know, maybe they use their GI Bill to go to college, and then they try officer corps. That's usually what lifers do. You know, but I guess this guy's just some kind of beast. I don't know. But then he also says, I worked even longer as a doorman. So you were 36 years old, you got out, and you worked 19 or more years as a bouncer. So that's what, 36, 46. You were in your 50s when you stopped being a bouncer. Is that what you're saying? And then on top of that, you also served law enforcement after that. So you became a cop when you were what, in your late 50s? That's when you became a cop? Really? Yeah. Sounds legit. That sounds very legit right now. Then here's the best part. I can tell you this. You can train on crash mats and flat surfaces all you want and in any style you want. But when shit gets real, when shit gets real and you are going at in rough terrain like these guys, it's the guy with the biggest heart that will win out every time. Forget your arm bars and all that shit. It's accepting that you're going to get hurt and getting on with it that makes the difference. I'd suggest the Russian was a tough guy before he went into the army and the Ukrainian wasn't. Mindset is everything in a life and death situation, regardless of training. This is just his way of saying, dude, I don't need training. I just see red. I just see red and bodies start hitting the floor, bro. It's a much longer way of saying that. And it's just his way of trying to say, oh, I'm a tough guy, and I bet that guy was a tough guy, because it takes a tough guy to know a tough guy. And I'm a tough guy. I'm a tough guy, you know? It's like, holy fuck, you know? JC says, I'm at the end of my life, back hurts, tired all the time, I'll be a cop. says the YouTube commenter. Yes, exactly. Fucking exactly. You know, this was written by a 13-year-old boy. Exactly. And that's what I said. I was like, none of what you said about yourself is true. You're making up lore about yourself so you can feel tough. So many people do that, you know, and what it is this guy right here probably wants to believe that he's part of that generation. If not literally, then he is figuratively part of that generation because he's an old soul, you know. He was born in the wrong generation is what it is. He actually would have gotten along better in World War II England. He wouldn't have been the bitch, you know, because that's the thing. People who say they're born in the wrong generation, they're usually the bitches of this generation, and they're not the bitches of this generation because they're like, oh, I like Leonard Skinner. I like AC/DC and Led Zeppelin. They're the bitches of this generation because they're bitches. And if you sent them all the way back to the 60s and 70s, they wouldn't like Leonard Skinner and AC/DC. They'd like fucking Bing Crosby and you know, lounge singers and shit like that. They'd like jazz. They'd still be bitches. They'd still be weirdos, you know. And they'd be sitting here like, I was born in the wrong generation. I should have been born in 1935. Oh man, you know, and it's just it's so foolish to see people who are like that. It's so dumb, you know. It is ridiculous. Ridiculous. AC/DC was more like early 80s. Was it? I always get confused about them. We're gonna play a game of AOE and then we'll probably get out of here. You know, I want to say I apologize for the way my streams have been going lately, right? It's like I said, I want to plan these things out, and I'm starting to get to a point where it's like, all right, I'm gonna be over the hump with a couple of different things that I've had going on that I didn't think would affect me that much, but they're affecting me to the point where I need to not be putting as much effort into streams, you know. Hopefully soon though. Soon, on the sooner side, I should be able to fucking get my shit together enough, you know. I should be good as to where I can do like a Jeopardy stream, or I can do that stream that I wanted to do with Lethal Company, or who knows, maybe even another game, you know. It'd be nice. It'd be nice, you know. Wait, they started in Australia. I thought they were Scottish. I had no clue. Damn. Thrill Me says, I was once down for the count, but I had a flashback or a concussion to my reason to fight and knocked out 3 7-foot black guys. Exactly, you know. Fucking exactly. People who think fighting is like a movie, you know. You'd be like millennials and Zoomers, right? They got into anime. Late Zoomers are into like Korea shit. They still like anime, but like their big thing I've noticed is Korea, you know? When you see black dudes dressing like they're from Seoul, it's a pretty crazy sight. I was at a wrestling meet the other day because there's some guys that I coached that are now on the wrestling team, and I like to keep up with them during the season. And I saw a black dude who dressed like he's straight out of fucking Seoul, Korea. You know, and I was just like, holy fuck, dude, that's crazy. That's wild, you know? But like, one of the features of the anime generation, if you want to call the millennials and early Zoomers that, is that you had a lot of guys who, since they watched a lot of anime, and girls too, they picked up the idiosyncrasies of anime. So you have guys who think that, like, you know, they're going to get their ass beat for like 5 minutes by the bully, and then they're gonna have a moment where they're like, that's it, I've had enough, and then they're gonna like go fucking Super Saiyan on the bully and shit like that. That's something that was very, very easy to spot in those generations. But the boomers and other people are the exact same way. It's just that since they watched Western media, it's a little bit less pronounced. It's still pronounced. You can still see it, and you can still see it pretty damn well. But it's not as pronounced as the guy who talks like he's on a subway in Tokyo, you know. Well, like my mom and my dad did this every now and again, you know, and my dad was especially guilty of it depending on the situation. I can remember there was this one time where it was freshman football. The thing about freshman football you have to understand is that literally none of it matters. Win, loss, none of it matters at all because there's no playoffs, there's no tournament, there's no nothing. You're basically just in freshman football for the love of the game and so that you can ingratiate yourselves to the coaches so that you can get the experience in the program and get the experience playing football so that when it comes time for you to make the varsity team, you'll have a bit of a leg up, right? But I can remember our coaches were just being assholes. They were punishing us for losing a game, which is ridiculous because we had won every game up until that point in the season. We were pretty much undefeated up until that point, and we just had a bad game. So instead of being like, hey, it was just a bad game, they invented a reason to punish us. They tried to say that we vandalized the bus, and their proof of that was there was some tape on the bus seat to cover up a rip, and I guess someone might have peeled the tape off. So it was some stupid fucking bullshit by a bunch of losers is what it was. These loser ass coaches who they're not even good enough to coach JV. They have to coach freshman football. They're pissed off. They're trying to make us run laps and do all this conditioning, and they're angry at us. They're yelling at us, trying to pretend it's not just because we lost the game. Now, luckily for me, I had a doctor's appointment that day. So my dad had to come pick me up. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm out of here. I ain't coming back to this bullshit. Fuck that and fuck these guys. I ain't running laps for some stupid shit. My dad's sitting here and he's like, so we get you to your doctor's appointment and then we'll get you back to football. And he's like looking at me like, like, hey, we're going back to football after this, right? And I'm like, nah, I ain't going back there. They're being idiots. We're not even practicing today. We're just running laps because the coaches are assholes. And he sits there and he tells me, oh, so here's what you do. You get all your teammates together and you say, they think they can beat us. And then you run your laps. And he was driving. We were driving to the appointment. I wanted to start throwing punches at this guy. That is how fucking stupid what he said was. That is how stupid what he said was. But the reason he said that, the reason he did that, is because he thought we were going to have a sports moment, a sports movie moment. He thought there was going to be a moment where, the coach was pissed off at us, and we were going to show him, we were going to show him that we aren't pussies. We're gonna show him we aren't pussies. We aren't a bunch of candy asses. And it's like, no, that is the dumbest fucking thing. This ain't Miracle. All right, we're not the U.S. Olympic hockey team. All right, it's a freshman football program at some random town in Massachusetts. Those coaches don't even remember me. If I bumped into any of them on the street, they'd be like, oh, you look kind of familiar. I don't think I know you, though. That's the best I could hope for in terms of them, like, even remembering me. So the idea that I'm going to run my laps and they're going to be impressed and they're going to be like, you're ready. And it's like, ready for what? There's no tournament. Like I said, there's no tournament. There's no playoffs. There's no big game. We had our last game of the season. We ate some pizza and we fucked off. That's what happened. That's what happened the rest of the season. Eventually, we had our last game, we ate some pizza, and we fucked off. So it's like, dude, whatever, bro, Some people are just that dumb about it, and that's just an example. That's just an example of baby boomer movie shit, where it's like people want to believe they're in a movie or like movie logic actually applies to real life, And it's like, holy fuck, man. What are you doing? Fucking, uh, they don't remember you because you weren't the miracle. Oh man, that's what it is. I wasn't the miracle, so they don't remember me. Damn. Damn. If only I ran the laps. If only I ran the laps, bro. Oh, excuse me. All right, we're good. Oh, geez, you know what? Gotta put that there. Preach, man. It's like a psyop for every generation to lose touch with reality and escape into their fantasy. It makes life hit you harder. Sorry you didn't get your miracle moment. Yeah, yeah. And that's the worst thing. Like I heard Sam talk. Well, it was mostly Nick Rochefort actually, but it was during the PGL episode. He talked about baseball dads, and my dad was a baseball dad. You know, the kind of guy who's just always screaming at your kid, even when he does good. It's like, here's how you could have done better. You know, that was what growing up with my dad was like, and it made me into a very high-strung young man. In addition to other things, you know, coping with my mom and stuff like that, you know, and I'm not gonna trauma dump on you guys or anything like that. Maybe I'll do it for the podcast. No, obviously I wouldn't really do that, but like it's just so stupid to have a dad who's like he's hell bent on the idea of you becoming the next whatever, whether it's the next Conor McGregor, the next Cy Young award winner, whether it's the next Heisman Trophy winner, whatever he expects you to be. It's so dumb having a dad that's like that, you know? And it's one thing having a dad that has expectations for you, right? But when those expectations are, oh, you're going to make it to the NFL or the UFC or the MLB or the NHL or the whatever, that's like, it's like having a weed smoker. It's like having a weed smoker parent a lot of the time. Oh, wait a second. It's like having a weed smoker parent. You know, it's like just as damaging in a different way. It's just as damaging in a different way, you know? And it's just the worst fucking thing. You know, my dad's real cool now. Everything's cool now. But like it's just like, holy fuck, man. You know, that is ridiculous. Yeah, so it's not verbal abuse, it's tough love. Now make me proud and be the next championship winner so I can brag to other drunks with nothing. Exactly, you know? Fucking exactly. A lot of us were not raised, and I don't think it's I don't like, I'm sure there are other people who were like this, but I think it's especially a baby boomer thing. Where they were one of the first generations who didn't parent for their child. They parented for themselves, you know. A lot of baby boomers didn't have kids because they wanted to like impart knowledge and you know, like raise a child into a fully functioning adult. They had kids because they were like, oh, I want another me running around that I can brag about, you know. And that's why a lot of people live vicariously through their child, is because that's why a lot of people live vicariously through their children. A lot of people live vicariously through their children because that's what they want. That's what they're doing. You know, they didn't have kids because they're like, oh, I want to be a dad and I want to be, you know, I want to raise my kids. I want to continue on my bloodline and everything like that. They had kids because they want to be able to look at everybody and be like, look at me, I'm a dad, that's my son. Look at me, I'm a mom, that's my son. And that's why you have so many people today that are raised so fucked up. That's why our generation was put on all these like all these medications and shit. Interesting. That's why our generation was put on all these medications and shit like that, is because there we go. That's why our generation was put on all these medications, is because a lot of these people were just, they were hell-bent on the idea of, like I said, like their kids weren't treated like kids. They were treated like lap dogs. They were treated like chihuahuas that are carried around in big ass Louis Vuitton bag or something like that is really what they were treated like. And because of that, when a kid would act out, as kids do, instead of people being like, yeah, well, you know, my son just has to find his way in the world. He has to figure it out. Instead of just being that way, it's, oh no, we got to throw him on medication. We got to throw him on medication because I want a little bit more peace and quiet around the house. And it's one of the worst features. It's one of the worst features of modern society. It's one of the worst things that has happened to our world today, you know? It's absolutely disgusting. Instead of getting into some championship, he wants us to go to a kumite he set up in the woods, and your opponents are his drunk friends. that's gonna be me. That's gonna be me. It's gonna be Jimmy. It's gonna be Jimmy. I'm gonna be like, son, it's time. The kumite. We go into the woods. We're not even deep in the woods. It's like we're like 20 yards out. We're 20 yards into the woods. And Jimmy emerges from behind a tree. And is like, why hello? Why hello there? Dude, that'd be the funniest fucking shit, dude. Oh fuck. Silly me. Oh nope. Here it is. I often see Scott as a Drillbit Taylor type character. Are you Drillbit Taylor? Is that from Home Improvement? Is that the dude from Home Improvement? You know, like I want to be a stern father, but not like an asshole. You know, like I'm gonna be hard on my kids, but I'm not gonna be an asshole to them. You know, that's really the way I see being a dad is like, you know, I'm gonna be good to my kids. I'm gonna be kind to my kids, but I'm not gonna hold their hand through everything, and I'm not gonna allow my wife to baby them either. Which I don't even think my wife will have that problem. I don't think my wife is gonna be that kind of mom. But you never know. You know, you never know. You never know. 1, 2, 3. Ah, fuck, I don't even have enough for 3. What the hell? Alright, there we go. Anyway, yeah, bang, bang. A couple there, go there. But yeah, like, that's the kind of dad that I'd like to be, you know? Oh, damn. And let me guess, he's definitely walled up that side too, hasn't he? But yeah, one of the worst things that occurred was women getting an almost monopoly on raising kids, you know? Women have almost a complete monopoly on raising children, whether it's direct or indirect, because there's a lot of men out there who they just have this yes dear attitude, and because of that, women are just allowed to like do whatever the hell they feel like all the time, you know? Oh. Anyway, yeah, a lot of women are just allowed to do whatever the hell they want all the time. And you know, it's just not good, man, you know? It's just not good, bottom line. 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, that's why we see a lot of the things we see. That's why we have a lot of the issues we have. I don't have as much. 9. Now, why do I not have as much of that shit as I need? Better yet, here. In fact, you go there, and then you go there. Talking about wood, of course. It's alright, though. Alright, let's see here. He's probably got this and that walled up, which is not bad, I guess, but, you know, still a pain. Yeah, I would appreciate if you guys would like the stream. Obviously, I've fallen off compared to where I was. And the reason for that is because I wasn't on season 3 of Fish Tank, so all the Fish Tank people are like, "Oh, let's keep up with the new fish, you know. Let's keep up with like Binks and Bert and Connor and Alex B and all these people." That's fine, you know. It's all good. I appreciate you guys for being here, though. Thank you very much. You know, and I was saying that to explain, like, I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for being here. And you know, I'm gonna keep doing this because I enjoy doing it. What the hell? Oh, really? Another one? A fucking another one? That's a smart idea. That was, you know, that was a good idea on his part. That was a good idea on his part. Can't fault him for that. Still though, he's only in the second. Damn it, really? All right, sick. He's only in the second age though, so he's pretty much fucked. You know, there isn't a whole lot he can do. Where are you going, you idiot? Apparently he's not gonna be as fucked as I thought he was, because these guys like to go the long way, I guess. I don't know. Oh. I want to destroy those right away. That way I don't have to worry too much about archers. He's not even getting archers. He's getting like the worst kind of... Oh yeah. He's pretty much fucked. Sorry, I'm just trying to lock in to the best of my ability, you know? Oh, hell yeah. But yeah, overall, what I was saying is obviously my streams have not been performing the way they used to be. I expected that to a degree because, you know, I wasn't on Fish Tank Season 3, so I'm not relevant to the Fish Tank people anymore. Plus, I'm not always getting into drama or you know, always, like, talking about Fish Tank stuff. I just kind of do my own thing off to the side. So, you know, people were not going to be that interested in what I'm up to, obviously. So I appreciate that you guys are here, you know. Obviously, I would love for my streams to do well, but, you know, first and foremost, I'm here because I enjoy streaming, you know. The second I stop enjoying it, I'm not going to do it anymore. The second I stop enjoying YouTube, I'm not going to do it anymore. But until then, it really doesn't matter to me if I have 1 trillion viewers per stream or if I have, like, 1, you know. I enjoy this, and just thank you guys for being here. You know, thank you guys so much. This guy is holding on for something. I don't know what. Haven't queued up any villagers as of late. Yeah, not sure what he's waiting for. I've uprooted his entire... I've upended his entire fucking base. Like, there's probably some shit over here, maybe a lumber camp in this general area. Alright, fine. But, like, other than that, where else you got, dude? Where else you going? You know? Yep, like I said. Create Scott lore. What's Scott lore, Rusty Corvine? What's going on, by the way? As I always said, thanks for the entertainment. It's a good exchange. Hey man, thank you, you know. I'm gonna keep on trying to find ways to make this more entertaining as well. That's the other thing, you know. I don't know what this guy's hanging on for. No, actually, you know what? Because he's kind of being a bastard. He's kind of being a bastard by holding on like this. So I'm going to be an asshole, and I'm going to drop a castle right in his base. Well. Thank you very much, Thrill Me, for the $10, man. Scott, commentary from you for the Netflix sponsored Jimmy and Greg boxing match tomorrow. Always fun to catch up, Scott. Can we send a movie or anime moments to hear commentary? Yeah, if it's stuff that won't get me copyright struck, then sure, yeah. So go ahead and send them. I'm gonna head out right after this, though. I'm gonna head out after this, so you should probably wait till next time. But yeah, I will be doing commentary tomorrow. Oh, huh. Interesting. Well. All right then. Oh. No, I'm good on that front. Sometimes if you say GG, they're like, yeah, I ain't coming back. Yeah, actually, I think you're right. I ain't coming back from this, bro. Yeah, I don't know what this guy's holding on for. It's kind of bullshit. I'm about to run him through, and then some. He's gonna fucking sit there like, oh, no, it's okay. About to pull out all the stops. There ain't nothing he's gonna be able to do. Yep, right here. Then hit this bad Larry too. He's holding on for a hero at the end of the night. That's got to be it. He's got to be strong. He's got to be whatever the next lyric in that song is. Yeah, he's probably set up over here somewhere, He's gonna come out from that direction. So I should be pretty damn careful, actually. Because, I mean, he's gonna be coming with archers, which is actually kind of a pain in the ass for me, And, yep. Oh, man. He only just now got up to fortified wall. I'm gonna talk a little shit. Like I said, he's being kind of a shithead, so I'm gonna talk a little shit. What the... Dude, get out of here. He sent dudes back to fucking redo that thing. You see, that's what I was worried about, is those archers. Those archers are a pain in the ass. They're a pain in the ass to have to deal with. Siege onager. Fuck it. Oh boy. There's one thing I can't stand. It's a guy who's like, oh, I'm losing. That's okay. I'll hold on forever and ever. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Pussy ass. See, like, I got this guy so far on the ropes, I don't want to quit. But there's a piece of me that's like, why am I playing if I'm not having fun? You know? It's like, this isn't fun for me right now, necessarily. So I'm just like, whatever, you know? Hmm? Oh. Alright. What? Oh. Wow, these guys dumb. Hmm. Should do Fura or Celtica. Still though. This thing's fucking rule. See, that's how he's gonna survive, is through the fucking market abuse. So you know what? Go fuck yourself. It's unsportsmanlike is like my big issue with it, you know? Bug him. Yeah, it's unsportsmanlike shit like that that pisses me off, you know? Where it's like, oh, I destroyed your market. That's the only way you were able to survive was through market abuse. I wanna see like I don't think I can even I can't even access it. I wanted to see what the prices were because the more you use the market, the more the prices fluctuate. I wanted to see what that was like, you know. Yeah, yeah. Type in the chat. He's not a sportsman. You're not a sportsman. You're not a sportsman, sir.
My charger.
Huh?
Charger?
Oh, fuck, you know what? It's in my car. Do you want to go grab it or you want me to grab it? I was going to stop. I was going to get out in a second.
Yeah, I'll wait for you.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to head out. All right, I'm going to head out. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. You know I love you. All right? And I will see you on what day will I see you on? I will see you on Sunday. Sunday at 5 p.m. I'm going to see you, all right? And we will be playing some Elder Scrolls Oblivion, all right? So until then, I will catch you guys later. Peace out.